There's a moment when the world feels too loud and the kitchen too quiet. Bills on the counter, messages unanswered, and a silence that carries more weight than words. This is where relationship resilience begins, in ordinary rooms with ordinary worries and two people choosing not to drift. If you're here for a way through, you're in the right place. You're listening to Whispered Hearts. English, a calm corner for couples who want real tools and a gentler pace. Tonight, we'll stay close to the ground. We'll look at simple, repeatable moves that help love hold when life presses hard. And we'll keep it practical, because healing has to fit between commutes, bedtimes, and the constant hum of modern life. Picture an early weekday morning before the sun lifts over the neighborhood. The air is cool against the window, and the coffee maker clicks on with a familiar rhythm. Two people stand in the small warmth of the kitchen, not to solve everything, but to make a tiny, reliable bridge. The first move is simple. Connect before the day takes you. Think of it as a morning check-in ritual, but keep it human. 3 minutes. A hand on the counter, eyes meeting instead of passing. One person asks, "What's one thing you need from me today?" The other answers with something specific and doable. A midday text, space to decompress after a hard meeting, reminding each other to step outside for 10 minutes of fresh air. This is not about grand plans. It's about routine tenderness that steadies the nervous system and sets a cooperative tone. Research shows small daily signals of care reduce defensiveness and increase problem-solving when stress hits later. Have you noticed how different your evenings feel when the day starts with that kind of small safety? On days when schedules pull you thin, anchor it even further. Keep a shared note on your phone titled, "Today's Tiny Thing." One sentence from each of you, a practical request, a hope, or a heads-up about energy. If the morning slips away, voice record it during your commute and send it over. Doable is better than perfect. Consistency matters more than length. But there's something even quieter holding love together that we tend to overlook. It's not just talking about stress. It's moving it out of your bodies together. Before we go there, ask yourself this. When your week has been heavy, do you and your partner default to screens or reach for something that actually downshifts your mood? Couples don't only bond through words, they bond through rhythm. Shared stress-busting activities work because they sync breath and attention. A brisk walk after dinner under summer evening warmth. 10 minutes of stretching on the living room rug while the dishwasher hums. Cooking the simplest soup, knife and cutting board, keeping your hands busy while your minds settle. Therapists report that sensory, low-stakes activities help partners reconnect without forcing big conversations too soon. If your life feels crowded, pair a habit you already do with one that calms. Fold laundry while listening to an audiobook you both enjoy. Wash the car on a Saturday morning, and leave your phones inside. Try a short, no-pressure hike when the air smells like spring rain and the trail is still quiet. What's one small activity you could make a shared tradition this week? Some evenings the body wants calm, but the mind is still noisy. This is where gentle novelty helps. Not a big trip. A different block on your nightly walk. A new coffee shop with a booth that feels like a pocket of privacy. Novelty sparks presence without requiring complicated plans. Would changing the setting by just one street help you notice each other again? There will be nights when your energy is spent and the gap between you feels wide. This is exactly when a tiny rule can save you. The 10-minute reconnection window is simple. Set a timer and offer undistracted attention. Sit close enough to touch knees, Each person gets 5 minutes to share one high and one low from the day, no fixing allowed. When the timer ends, thank each other. Share one sentence of appreciation and decide whether to continue or pick it up tomorrow. This brief ritual works because it balances structure and kindness. It also respects bandwidth. When time is short, you can still protect the bond by telling each other, "You matter enough to be heard." Many couples find this small window stops spirals that would otherwise last all evening. What would your version of a 10-minute reconnection look like, and when could you try it? But there's more beneath the surface of that 10 minutes. A quiet skill that keeps the doorway open. Call it letting the soft start lead. Instead of beginning with a complaint, start with a feeling and a wish. I felt overwhelmed sorting bills. I'd love 10 minutes to plan together after dinner. This tone reduces the reflex to defend and increases the chance you'll end up on the same side of the problem. When conflict does happen, give yourselves a simple repair map. First, pause long enough to breathe, even if it's just 3 slow inhales. Then name one thing you understand about your partner's experience, even if you're still upset. Follow with a small action to rebuild safety. A glass of water set down gently. A hand offered without words. Research shows that timely repair attempts are a core driver of long-term stability. If voices rise, agree on a short reset. Step onto the porch, feel the crisp edge of winter air, and let the season cool the moment. Walk down the block and notice the hush between passing cars. Come back with one sentence each that names your shared goal. We want to pay bills without turning on each other. We want to be a team when we're tired. Have you tried a reset like this? And if not, what would make it feel safe? Midway through hard seasons, many couples fear they're the only ones struggling. You are not alone here. Whispered hearts. English exists so you have a place where your hardest moments still belong. When you listen, you join countless others learning gentler ways to stay close. Let this be the reminder that belonging is a practice and you have a seat at the table. Now, let's turn toward tiny, ongoing maintenance that compounds over time. Before we shift, hold this teaser in your mind. Sometimes the smallest habit is not what you do, but what you stop doing. Consider how often stress in relationships grows from unclear boundaries with time and attention. Tonight, we'll ask what you could release to make room for repair. One release is letting go of constant multitasking when your partner speaks. Put the phone face down or in a different room. Give your eyes and shoulders to the person you chose. That kind of attention is rare, which makes it powerful. Therapists report that even 5 minutes of undivided presence changes how safe the next conversation feels. Another release is the need to decide everything now. Try the parking lot note on your fridge or phone. When a stressful topic appears at a bad time, write it down and schedule a 20-minute window this week to return to it. This protects your evenings from turning into strategy meetings and teaches your nervous systems to trust that concerns won't be lost. Would adding a simple parking lot note reduce friction in your home? As you add small habits, keep an eye on your body's dashboard. Shoulders tight, jaw clenched, breath shallow. These are signals, not failures. When you notice them, name it out loud. I'm activated. Pair that with a micro reset you both know by heart. A hand to the chest, 3 slow breaths together. A brief step outside to feel the air and orient to the trees, the streetlights, the shape of the sky. Don't underestimate gratitude as a practical tool. Skip the dramatic speeches. Aim for clean, concrete appreciation. Thanks for calling the insurance company. I know that took patience. I noticed you packed the kids' lunches. It helped my morning. Gratitude builds a bank of goodwill that cushions the bumps you can't avoid. What is one small thing your partner did today that you can name right now? There's also the matter of shared meaning, what this relationship is for when life feels like a race. Give yourselves a 5-minute check once a week to answer a simple question. What are we building? Some weeks, the answer will be paying down debt and finding time to sleep. Other weeks, it might be planning a fall drive under orange leaves or saving for a class you take together. Shared meaning gives stress a context. It stops the story from shrinking to survival. In seasons of high demand, protect time for touch that is not a prelude to anything. A hug held long enough to soften the back. Hands warm on each other's shoulders while standing at the sink. Physical connection calms the body and communicates safety in a language older than speech. If you're both anxious, start with hand-to-hand contact and breathe together. How would your evenings change if steady touch returned to your routine? Money, family, and health can feel like storms that steer the boat for you. When those waves rise, zoom out and create tiny, predictable anchors. A Sunday night calendar check where you each name one stressor and one relief. A midweek walk to talk money with rules that keep it kinder, like sitting side by side and starting with appreciation. Practical scaffolding doesn't remove pressure, but it stops pressure from running the show. Sometimes resilience looks like asking for backup, a trusted friend who can watch the kids for 2 hours, a mentor who has walked a similar road, a conversation with a counselor when patterns feel stuck. Reaching out is not a verdict on your love. It is maintenance on the engine that carries both of you. What kind of supportive voice would help you breathe easier this month? Protect your stories, too. Notice the sentences you repeat under stress. We always fight about money. You never listen. Gently retire the words always and never for a while. Replace them with lately and sometimes, because those words welcome change. Language shapes what our nervous systems expect, and expectation guides behavior. Which sentence could you rewrite tonight to make room for a better ending? Remember to play, not perform, not impress, just play. A board game that makes you laugh, a simple recipe challenge with whatever's in the pantry. Sitting on the porch, naming 3 constellations you think you see, even if you get them wrong. Play is not frivolous. It tells your nervous systems that the world is safe enough to lift your shoulders and let joy in. When was the last time you played without an agenda? On the hardest days, return to the basics. Food that warms, water that steadies, sleep that resets. Put a bowl of clementines on the counter and split one while you stand together. Walk to the mailbox and feel the weather on your skin. Choose one TV show that you watch only together, and let it be a place of friendly quiet. These are small, but small is how big things change. The late peak of resilience is not dramatic. It shows up in the scene where one of you admits, "I'm scared about the budget," and the other says, "Me too." Let's sit for 10 minutes and look at it together. It arrives when you choose gentle words at midnight, even though you're exhausted. It's there when you forgive yourselves for a clumsy week and try again in the morning. The point is not perfection. It's returning. As we start to close, come back to a picture of your future selves. A fall weekend where the air tastes like apples and the sidewalks are crisp with leaves. You've been practicing small habits for months. The arguments haven't vanished, but they pass more quickly. The house feels warmer, not because the thermostat moved, but because your attention did. What would it be like to live in that version of your home more often? If this talk stirred something, bring it into action before bed. Name one tiny commitment to each other for tomorrow morning. Choose a shared activity that helps stress move through your bodies. Set a 10-minute timer tonight or tomorrow and trade highs and lows. These are everyday moves that turn fear into forward motion. Which habit will you start today? Share it in the comments so others can find courage too. You've done something brave by listening all the way through. You chose to turn toward your partner rather than away. That choice counts more than any perfect plan. If you need a reminder later, return to this space and breathe with us again. Before we say goodnight, let this land. Resilience isn't built in grand gestures. It's built in 1,000 unglamorous moments, where you choose care when irritation would be easier. It grows when you protect your mornings, move stress through your bodies, and make a small window for undistracted attention. Whispered Hearts. English will be here whenever you need a gentle nudge back to the path. In the end, relationship resilience is not a mystery. It is a pattern of simple, human habits practiced in kitchens, on porches, and along quiet sidewalks at dusk. Keep them small, keep them kind, keep them consistent, and let this be your sign that steady love is possible, even now.